Hello there. Here's a short walk around of my 1980 GS450 S. This is a genuine S model with the factory fairing and bar end mirrors. This one I bought in March of 2005. I've owned it for 10 years. I've gone through the bike and it's ready to rock. It's ready for it to be sold, go on to a new owner. Bought it with 8,000 miles on it. I'm the second owner. It now has 28,534 on it. Done all those miles, 20,000 myself. I did 12,000 the first year and bought another bike, and then since then this one's been setting. Just ride it occasionally. Recently had the carbs cleaned with an ultrasound cleaner. They are spotless. I don't know if this video is working. It keeps stopping and starting, but here I'm going to try to do a cold start for you. See if you can catch that on video. Very neutral there. This thing is stone cold. It has not been run today. Put my hand on the other pipe. It's cool. It's cooler than the outside temperature. It's about 80 out here. The garage is probably still 65. So I'm going to need two hands to start this thing. I could pull the clutch in with one hand and hold the camera with the other. And with no choke. Okay, so it won't idle without this throttle lock until it's warmed up. So once it's warm, it idles at 1100 RPM like it's supposed to. And if I let go of the throttle, it'll idle down at 500 RPM. Once it's warm, it'll idle at about 1100 RPM where it's supposed to. So I'll just set that with the throttle lock. That's what I usually do. And once I get it idling about 1100 RPM like this, I'll go put my helmet and gloves on. So while I'm doing that, it'll warm up and the temperature, the revs will rise on their own at this throttle setting. And it'll do that twice. And in about 2 minutes, it'll be ready to ride. Actually, you could ride it right now as long as you want to keep your hand on the throttle. Ready to see the valve service. All the valves are set up pretty loose, around 5,000s. The spec is 3,000s. But that means it'll just take a little longer before you need to do the full service again. You can see it's nice and quiet. This is not a super fast bike. It's a great beginner bike with a gear position indicator. First gear, second gear, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. And down through the gears. Call it idle. To use the clutch a little bit to help it into gear when it's not spinning fast. As you can see, it's still not fully warmed up. It takes a couple of miles before it gets fully warmed up, but it's idling already. Tag returned through April of 2016. This bike has been in California its whole life. It's pretty slick. It's not perfect, but it's a pretty good, or very good original survivor. And those are shocks from a Yamaha XJ650 Turbo, so that's a suspension upgrade there. I put in new fork seals and put the gaiters on so I wouldn't have to do it again for a while. And I think I put 2 sets of fork seals in this thing and cleaned and lubed the steering bearings. Of course, I've done the brakes. caliper rebuild kit. We got a stainless steel braided line here. We're running DOT5 silicone brake fluid, and which so you don't have to flush it every year, and the brakes are great. So there you have it. This is my 1980 Suzuki GS450S, original S model with the factory fairing and bar end mirrors. A little crack in the plexiglass here. That's the worst part of the bodywork. Ready for new owner.